There, you awakening wonders. Thanks for joining me today for Stay Free with Russell Brand. Is it me or is that Mark Zuckerberg absolutely gorgeous? Have you seen that beard on him? That better not be a trick, Mark. That better not be a trick. We've got a lot of fantastic news for you today. We're talking about, of course, have you seen this yet? Have you seen that there are companies funded by the CIA setting up media organisations to accuse people of being pro-Putin agitators when all we're doing, and I say we because I'm one of them, along with Glenn Greenwald, Tucker Carlson, Mearsheimer, our man Jeffrey Sachs, remember that guy who went that time, saying that we're agitators on behalf of pro-Putin forces, when actually what I'm doing is advocating for peace. I believe in peace. Spaceman Spliff 1371, he made a beard out of my pubic hairs. Are you claiming, Spaceman Spiff, that you are actually an AI entity? Good, I need some good news. Mike Johnson just sold us out for billions. Yep, that's the $95 billion bill that's just passed. You better believe we'll be covering that later. But will we be able to cover that on YouTube? Will we be able to cover that on a platform that functions as one of the pillars of the establishment? How do you feel about a political class that in the last couple of days has passed the Pfizer bill, meaning your government has got more surveillance powers, greater abilities to spy on you and us, because it's the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act or whatever the hell it's called. They're spying on us, they're spying on you. It's extraordinary. That's why we have to unify. That's why we have to unite. That's why you should become an awakened wonder right now. Become a member of our community. We're going to give you 1 month free if you use the code I Surrender. For that, you get so much. An exclusive video every week where we go deep. You get to join us for conversations with fantastic people. Roseanne Barr, Bobby Kennedy, Jordan Peterson, Alex Jones, Vandana Shiva. You get to go deep with us. Our awakening wonders like Curious Camilla and Sensitive Hearts and Ash Ella and Miss Molly, they'll tell you that this is the community that's the answer to what you've been looking for. That vast void within you now, that pain you're suffering from, that pain they want you to suffer from. We can appease it. And how the hell could you say no to a fart mug like that? Look at that crow fart mug. Don't you want to drink Mark Zuckerberg's pubes out of a mug just like that? Of course you do. It's only human. It's only human nature, sweet Lord Jesus above. So, we're going to be covering the incendiary event outside the Trump Troll. Have to be careful. It's one of those things that's censored. They do not like it when people make moves like that. I'm holding it together, and my dog's really done a really, really bad fart. I'm alone in this room, so I'm not lying. If it was me, why would I bring it up? Why would I bring it up? I'm going to give him this, and he's going to think it's a sort of a reward for the farting, which is sort of an odd move, really. Also, in our book club, as Awakened Wonders, we read Mere Christianity. We're learning. We're doing our best. We're doing our very best. So join us if you can. And if, as I say, it's 1 month free. So if you don't like it, you're gonna have to live with it. Russell, you made some weird quotes there. No one ever. Sundown Snowscape. I'm talking to the people in our Rumble stream. This is how it should be, the news. We are working together. That's why Rumble is a rival to CNN. We're beyond CNN at this stage, aren't we? We're beyond Fox News. 24/7. You can be with me. You can be in the Bongino army. You can do what you got to do. I'm not drinking it. Christopher John James, drink it. If you think I'm drinking the Zuckerberg poob beard, you got another thing coming, baby. Let's have a look at, let's have a look at it. And then there's a bit where they're really sort of objectifying Mark Zuckerberg. I'm not sort of down with, really. But we've got, as I say, the main stories we're covering is the Pfizer bill, the $95 billion that's been passed, and the Trump event outside the courtroom. They've finally found the jurors. All that coming up in a fantastic show, as well as some fantastic reporting where we reveal how the CIA have been funding even Ukrainian media to shut down dissenting voices like mine, Glenn Greenwald, Tucker, all of that stuff. Okay, let's look at Mark Zuckerberg's sex chin. Here it is. People like it, apparently. Let's have a look at a video with the odd objective.
People online have literally been thirsting over a new...
I was actually in charge of queuing that up, and I still put it on over my own voice. So what does that say?
certain picture of Mark Zuckerberg. A screen grab of the Facebook co-founder sport.
He does look quite nice there. And I do sometimes in prayer, I think, come on, Like, I don't hate. There's no point hating. There's no point hating because it's all within the ecosphere of your own beingness. So with, say, like, Mark Zuckerberg's on a PR drive, isn't he? Plainly, all of the BJJ, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and stuff, they're sort of trying to, because people think he's not properly human, don't they? I'm not saying that he's not that. And I don't even mean he's an interdimensional being or a cyborg or anything like that. I'm saying like lacking empathy, mainly perhaps because of just sort of how he looks, or when he does that promo where he's in a t-shirt and everything. It's more, and also how he was rendered rather brilliantly by Jesse, what's his name, in the movie. Anyway, so he's on a PR drive. I do BJJ. I got this little sexy chin, but I don't know if that's what's important, given that, did you see what they tacked onto that $95 billion global war bill? Let's have a war over in China. Let's keep the Ukraine-Russia war going. Let's make things yet more incendiary in the Middle East. Also, ban TikTok, ban TikTok. They're throwing the kitchen sink at that thing. Russell, are you getting a cold? Yeah, I've got a cold, but we keep going, baby.
Rugged facial hair began making the rounds on X, leaving many in shock by his handsome new look. I'd zuck him off, wrote one.
That's actually disgusting, isn't it? That's actually disgusting. Like, I'm a comedian. I've been in a lot of trouble over the years for a variety of things, many of which are actual total constructions and media confections and psyops from a globalist corporate state that can't stand dissent, and we've got plain evidence for that. When it comes to Li Fang's fantastic reporting on the CIA creating assets, which we'll be covering later. And I think it's actually a bit rude to say I'd zuck him off just on the basis of a pun. I'd zuck him off.
One user, gonna tell my kids this was Jack Harlow, added another. Oh, come and zucker this berg, chimed in.
What's going on?
In a third person. However, Mark's sudden glow up.
The banalization, and it's the banalization. That means, make everything dumb. And desacralization, that's the removal of the holy. To make all things profane. To make all things lack beauty. So in the end, like, your whole life feels like the experience of being at like a McDonald's drive-through. Do you know what I mean by that? Like, so that you're just sort of like, you're in a transactional experience, godlessly traveling through like, oh, can I have a Happy Meal? I'll take the nuggets. I'll take the nuggets. We got some fantastic reporting coming up later this week of how big food companies and fast food outlets are lobbying your government to ensure that migrant workers can prevent ordinary Americans demanding a decent wage for their labour. Let's have a look at this banalisation and objectification of Zuckerberg.
Up isn't what it seems. The original video can be found on Mark's Instagram page, which, by his bare face, made it quickly apparent that the facial hair was actually the...
Making me angry because I'm participating in it. I'm not doing it anymore because they did that on purpose, didn't they? Like, this is promo for Meta. Isn't it? Well, let me tell you this about Meta. They depoliticise their content so that people don't see political content, which is actually a political act, i.e. they switched the switch on Instagram, didn't they, saying, if you want to see political content, which means content, by our reckoning, that's potentially dissenting and adversarial to the agenda of the globalist state, of which we are plainly an arm, you have to do all this stuff. Now, that's a bit of promo. Ah, God! Surely one can only sip from the fart mug to find happiness. You can order your fart mug now. There's a link in the description to get your fart mug. Sip from the fart mug. It's your only route to peace. Boston Dynamics have made another terrifying thing. Russell, you need a neti pot and some spicy Indian food to clear that up. I do like spicy Indian food. And I also do like a neti pot. That's like a little watering can. You pour salt water up your snout hole. And it, it clears your nose out. But you always feel a bit weird when you're doing it because it's like sort of doing, well, over the years, I'm sorry to admit that I have ingested powders up the hooter hole, but liquid, that's like Ozzy Osbourne snorting a line of ants. And so we take another step towards hell. Former leader of my country, Britain, is promoting a book on Fox News. Note how she's not good at promoting things. Look at me, how I do this. Fart mug, get yourself a fart mug. Remember, every penny we raise from the fart mug helps people with addiction issues get into recovery. And if you want help, you let us know. We're here to help you, baby. Let's have a look at Liz Truss, former Prime Minister of our country, promoting a book badly. This is about 2 or 3 Prime Ministers back.
Stuff, great to see you. Your thoughts.
Great to see you. And here's my new book. I'll just get it up. Sorry, I'll get
there
it
you
up
go.
front. There we are.
Yeah, congratulations.
Sorry, here's my new fart mug available now. Oh, God, no, that's what do you do with a fart mug? Oh, what's that? Help me. She was in charge of a whole country. She can't be in charge of a book. Hey, you lot into the Tucker Rogan thing? Do you think it's getting shadow banned on YouTube? Y or N? Are they shadow banning it? Low numbers, right? So, yeah, there was I guess it's there. We're saying that these are the 2 biggest figures in independent media, right? And do you think it was getting shadow banned on YouTube? Let me know. Of course, the lawfare against Trump continues, a matter that is of minor interest to some degree, the appropriation of campaign funds to pay hush money to Stormzy Daniels. A lot of people, do you notice how the media always say, the historic trial? Like, it's historic. This is history. This is actual history that we're watching now. They're shadow banning you too, Russ. You better believe it. We are being shadow banned to within an inch of our lives. But with your support and your loyalty, we will grow this movement. They're terrified of us. You see how that WHO treaty is falling apart because independent media voices that are reaching you and the communities that we're creating together are opposing it. So the WHO treaty, they can't get that stuff through. Yeah, help our algorithm, as SL Gribb says. Hit the like button. Leave comments, whatever platform you're watching it on, and after the first 15 minutes, which is coming up pretty soon, if you're watching us on YouTube, you're going to have to click the link in the description and join us in that sweet stream of freedom that we call Lady Rumble. That can't stream in Brazil because they're turning it into a great nation of censorship. Beautiful country, but they're censoring it. It's already out of France because France wanted to ban Russia Today, in case you saw a bit of Russia Today and went, oh my God, I love Russia now. Let's have a look at this. This is the historic trial. 7 men, 5 women. Let's have a look at how the legacy media convey this extraordinary tale. It's very, it's just funny, I think, to watch. Yeah, no doubt. Tati Peel Neal, they're shadow banning it. PooTube, you're causing it, Roy the Accuser. Yep. Oh, sorry, that's why I pressed that. Don't worry, that's a story we got later. Don't read that. Look away now. Look away. Trump jurors have been selected. Let's have a look at that.
This morning, 7 men and 5 women have been sworn in to claim their place in American history as jurors in the first criminal trial of a former president. They include an investment banker who follows Trump on social media, a speech therapist who said she does not agree with a lot of his politics,
a judge with a grudge and a little bit of fudge, a low-status music industry worker, a little boy with 3 toes, and instead of hands, hooks. Like, who are these people? And also, I think that they're trying to make it sound a bit balanced, even in their praises on them. A school teacher who admires how Trump speaks his mind.
A school teacher who said she admires how President Trump speaks his mind, and a woman in product development who said, I don't like his persona, how he presents himself in public. All of them, though, pledged to give Trump a fair shake. The judge declared, we have our jury. Trump eyed them all.
That's it. That's good, isn't it? That's like him doing it. Yeah, look at those guys.
Listening to their responses with arms folded across his chest. The day started with the judge excusing 2 people from the jury. An oncology nurse said she had concerns about her personal information becoming public and could no longer be fair and impartial. A grandfather was tossed for failing to reveal his arrest in the 1990s for tearing down posters that prosecutors said leaned to the political right.
The grandfather was my favourite one. He was the one that I was most into.
The judge also excused from the jury pool a woman whose social media post called Trump a racist, sexist narcissist. When the woman read the posts in court, she said, oops, that sounds bad.
What that'll be, right, is Trump's lawyers will have gone through the jurors. When the jurors come forward, all Trump's lawyers are like, right, let's check these people's social media history. And then one woman who had made it that far had social media posts that said he's a racist, narcissist, psychopath, or whatever it said. So some of these jurors, at least some of them, will be people that are anti-Trump, that are like, I'm going to keep it down. In fact, didn't like the news advocate for that? I think CNN did. If you're in this jury pool, why don't you just say that you don't care about Trump and then get yourself on that jury? The truth is that the very fact that the trial is happening is an indication of the degree of partisanship, because it can't really be legitimately and actually about, what? You use campaign funds to hush money Stormzy Daniels into silence? This is crazy. What are we going to do? Let me tell you what real corruption looks like. A lobbying industry that allows migrant labor to capsize the ability of Americans to demand proper wages. What real corruption looks like is a $95 billion bill being passed to perpetuate wars on three fronts, essentially acknowledging that it is World War III that we're embarking on. Do you know what real crime looks like? A FISA bill being passed that allows unprecedented spying on the American population. This is the corruption that we oppose. These are the real crimes. And behind them, who are the real criminals? Let me know in the chat right now. If you're watching us on YouTube, you've got to click the link in the description. Let's start that countdown right now. We've done 15 minutes. If you want to become an Awakened Wonder, use the code ISurrender to get 1 month free. You'll be able to join our book club. You'll be able to join us for interviews. We've got Colonel Douglas McGregor coming on the show. He'll be exposing military-industrial complex corruption. Also, we've got COVID. Real bad. Can anyone do an injection for this stuff? There's no time to test it against transmission. Just give me the jab. Click the link in the description. Don't worry about if there's side effects. Click the link. Join us over on Rumble.